Just as I need to fuel up for the workout, I almost let the fucking Camry run out of gas. You know, there's a certain anxiety you get, right? There's a certain anxiety you get when you're close to empty, when you're at empty. There's a much different kind that you get when you are like 2 bars below empty. The dial is covering the E, and I mean, let's just say I was a little nervous. You know, let's just say I was not in a rush to slam my pre-workout until I knew I'd be able to even fucking make it. But all is well. All's well. Oh, but I'm blocking traffic bad. Yeah, whoops. But plan for tonight, chest. Yeah, just chest. I was about to throw in a touch of shoulders, kind of just for the heck of it. But no, just because all that is that's me fucking just liking shoulders, but I don't need to hit them. They're overpowering my arms and my back and my chest. So shoulders they're not even on the back burner. Shoulders are in the fucking fridge, saran wrapped, in a Tupperware. I'm saving those for later, right? And the same thing's gonna happen with back. These once this bulk gets started, I'm not gonna be hitting back as frequently as I'm doing like chest and legs and arms. Because for me, out of the big main muscle groups, all right, what do we got here? Chest, back, shoulders, arms, legs, pretty much the big 5 kind of components. For me, shoulders and back, these two, are a little bit ahead of the curve. A little bit ahead of the curve. Chest, not so bad. Honestly, I mean, I don't have any glaring weak points per se, but I definitely want my arms to be able to catch up to, my actual kind of torso, if you catch my drift there. So, mainly back, yeah, back and shoulders are just going to get put on the back burner a little bit, which I've got no problem with. And honestly, I think I've gotten this comment a little bit in response to that statement, and the logic was, well, Sam, you can't specifically target muscles to grow just by hitting them less frequently. You don't think so? If I were to skip legs for the next bulk, or for the next 6 months that this bulk is going to take, I think my torso would see some pretty serious gains, because my body is no longer being taxed with the fucking responsibility and energy, requirements to recover and grow my legs at the same time. I kind of feel like you've got a certain amount of, let's just think about this video game style. You've got a certain amount of growth points, per se. And when you're bulking, if you're hitting everything evenly, then all of your growth points, per se, can, just be evenly spread, and you're growing everything pretty evenly. But I'm inclined to believe that if you fucking were to skip a certain muscle group for a while, then you're going to have slightly better gains hitting everything else, because now you're not taxed with that one specific body part's recovery. And it's not an awesome move to reference like top 0.01 percenters on any specific, point of their training or anything. I'm not going to say like, oh, I do Lee Priest's arm workout because he has the biggest arms. Like, I think he definitely knows how to do an arm workout, but his arms are fucking freaky because he's a genetic demon. And that's something you can't teach, So, in that same logic, take this with a grain of salt. But guys like Jay, anybody with crazy muscular developed, whatever parts of their body, he's on record saying, hey man, my legs were too fucking big, so I didn't train him for like 2 years. Not that crazy. Because what he's trying to do is let the rest of his body catch up. That probably didn't require so much talking to explain. So for me, since back and shoulders are a touch, we get it. So plan for chest, incline Smith machine. I can pretty much guarantee that's going to be on the first up of the roster. Yeah. Have yet to consume my hostility V2, but yeah, that'll be first, I think. And then I think I've been limiting my chest gains a little bit. So I love incline pressing. That's no secret. I'm pretty open about that. But I've kind of been keeping myself from some of even the flat pressing machines just because it's not incline. There's a really cool hammer strength flat press at this gym, which I just hadn't really used before because I never really, I'd always just use the incline one that was next to it instead. That flat press is fucking sick. Yeah, that's a really good machine. I did not realize I was missing out on. One more little tidbit here. If you haven't done a specific machine for like months or even years, just because like, oh, I tried that a long time ago, I didn't really love the feel of it, whatever, I don't want to do it. Odds are, after a certain period of time, for one thing, your brain is kind of gonna probably fire your different muscles a little bit differently. You're gonna be better at actually doing sets. Maybe you'll actually be able to feel it now, and maybe you didn't then because you didn't have so much training experience. And then sometimes I just, movements come and go in my routine. I haven't really done any incline dumbbell bench for a while, really heavy. Now, that's partially because there's not a lot of gyms around me that have heavy enough dumbbells. And the ones that do, I don't like the incline benches, like the free weight benches. It just doesn't really feel nice. So I'll go periods of time where I do a ton of incline barbell, a ton of incline Smith machine, a ton of fucking incline dumbbell. You've seen it. I'll go on pretty solid runs of just barbell squats. Whereas as of late, I've been on a little bit more of a Smith machine kick. It's, as long as whatever sets you're doing, you're really pushing it. I'm not so concerned about the exact movements. Like if you were to ask me, Sam, this is my chest day. I just did this, 3 days ago. This is what I did. Tell me what you think. And you tell me you did 2 sets of incline Smith machine, 2 sets of incline machine press. I'm sorry I'm yawning so much. I got up really early today. Yeah, so 2 sets of Smith machine, 2 sets of incline machine press, 2 sets of pec flies, 3 sets of cable presses as a finisher. That's what you told me the chest day was. I'm going to look at that and I'm going to say, all right, cool. What do those sets look like? I don't necessarily care the order of things. And even though I do kind of have a specific kind of skeletal outline of what my lifts normally look like, chest especially is pretty rigid. I usually almost always start with heavy pressing, gradually do lighter pressing just because I physically get weaker after every set, finish with some squeezing stuff at the end, and that's the end of it. But even if I were to start with cable flies in the beginning, save the pressing for the end of the lift, whatever kind of crazy order I feel like doing that day, that's not the important part. It's how hard and how much just kind of muscular activation and damage and burn and pump that I can accumulate over the course of those sets. Somebody is going to make better gains if they train fucking hard, like harder than anybody around them. If all they did was walk into the gym today and do set after set of incline barbell bench on the Smith. Like, sure, they're going to get a little weaker as the sets progress and do less weight. But if they do like 10 to 15 reps and that's failure, and they did that 10 times in a row, I guarantee that's a stimulating chest day. It's not even a question. That is a good chest day. Because you did a reasonable amount of volume. Every set was as much as you could physically manage. And I can almost guarantee at the end of that, you're going to be fucking pumped. So don't get too kerfuffled with like, oh, should I do incline Smith machine or should I do incline dumbbell? Well, Sam's doing incline Smith machine. Maybe I should do that. No, man, I'm doing incline Smith machine today because I know I'm going to like the way it feels. If for whatever reason you love starting your days off with a cable press and then moving into something like a dumbbell bench because you like the activation you get before, and then you can squeeze it better in the incline dumbbell, it's whatever. That's where you got to kind of have to back up a little bit and not necessarily be focused on conforming your training to what everyone else is doing, and then rather look at whatever everybody else is doing, use that as a guideline, use that as like a little bit of a starting point, because people have been working out for fucking hundreds of years at this point. And even in, let's just say, the last 100 years, we've gotten reasonably fucking smart about it, to the point where it's no longer, you're not wishing upon a fucking star that you're going to get gains. If you go into the gym, do a hard ass 8 set per body part workout, whether you want to do light squeezing, hard and heavy, add some supersets in there every so often just as a little bit of an intensifier. The only variable that's gonna, when it fluctuates, is gonna say, okay, this guy's making gains, oh, this guy's not making gains. It's your intensity, you know? So that's where just fucking turn your brain off, get hyped up to whatever music you're listening to, and go crazy. That's why I like some machines too a little bit, because right now on the this will be my last little statement before we get started, but when I get to do the incline Smith machine and I get to do the machine press and stuff, I no longer have to focus on using my stabilizers. That doesn't mean that I'm letting my form get completely shit. I'm making sure I'm still pretty rigid when I'm holding the weight. The last thing I want to do is hurt myself just being stupid, of course. But one thing I really like about machines, and I probably lean a little bit towards more some machines, kind of fixed path movements when I'm dieting down, is because I don't have to focus on anything else but purely activating the target muscle. So I don't have to worry about letting the bench move forward or backward as I'm doing incline barbell. The Smith machine will hold it for me, and all I'm concerned with is just how hard can I fucking push it. So take some notes there. We can all improve our intensity. And when I say that, I'm not saying like everybody should train as hard as I am. No, I want to improve my intensity constantly, right? If I want to make gains, progressive gains over time, then I have to fucking be able to bring it more and more and more and more and more day after day after day for years on end. And for me, that's fun. For somebody who's not so inclined to work out, that can be kind of a bitch. That's sort of what makes working out cool. Not everybody is really wired that way. But if you can make yourself into the guy who can push himself hard in the gym on a consistent basis, dude, what can't you do? What can't you do? Am I saying I'm going to be the next Elon Musk and go to Mars? I'm not saying that. Nah, I'm just kidding. Okay, come on. No, I'm just goofing off. Let's get started. I'll show the warm-up first. Chest day for me does have a pretty elaborate warm-up compared to some other muscle groups that I hit. So let's move on to the cables. So, I've lifted in jeans before. Leg day, not so much. But, let's just be real. Frankly, it's better for the environment, right? If I were to change into a pair of sweats compared to the cargos I was wearing today, I'd have to do more laundry. I'd have to use more water. I'd be pumping out more CO2. Look, come on, man. We gotta go green. No, I'm just kidding. So, anything, because when I do arms, if I do an arm set of push downs or a set of curls, all I do to warm up is that movement just lighter. If I'm about to do a set of pull downs to start my back day, I'm gonna warm up on the cables a little, do some rowing stuff. But the majority of the warming up is just light pull downs, a few reps, go a little heavier, a little heavier, a little heavier, So a lot of movements, doing the movement itself light is the warm up. But chest, I'm a bit more careful about. And not for no reason, this is at a fucking experience. If I don't warm up my triceps before moving on to some kind of heavy pressing, they're gonna be tender when I'm doing it. As much as I can isolate my chest, I'm never not gonna be able to get tricep activation. And really, I don't think anybody is. Just if you're doing a hard press all the way to failure, your triceps are gonna come into play. And if they're gonna come into play, you want them to be warm, So even before I move over to the incline Smith to start warming up with a plate and 2 plates and get exposed to the weight, I'm gonna sit over here and just warm up everything that's gonna come into play. So triceps first, rotator cuff, kind of by doing these sort of half face pulls, half rear delt flies. Love these. I have not had a single kind of like crunchy shoulder rotator cuff issue ever since I started implementing these, like maybe 6 or 8 months ago or something. I don't know. But it just makes me feel fucking warm, man, you know? I'm putting hundreds of fucking pounds all the way into my shoulder joint. And your shoulder is not a simple joint. It's not like your knee where it's just moving in one way. This thing fucking rotates and spins and moves in and out. It just makes sense. You want to get it fucking warm. And then, just as a little bit of pre-activation of the chest, just a couple kind of cross-body cable presses like this. And this is not for the purpose of like pre-fatigue or anything like that, but just by going through the motion of actually activating whatever muscle you're about to hit, you're just going to have a better connection with it when you start, you know? If I were to just immediately jump on the leg extension machine and completely cold try to do a set of leg extensions to failure, odds are the intensity of that set is not going to be as much as I'll be able to achieve on the next set, because I will have already kind of warmed up, got all my neurons firing. You know, you get the gist there. So I'm going to sit here for a little longer, kind of go back and forth between a little bit of chest, triceps, shoulder warming up, and then we can start some reasonably heavy Smith machine pressing. The actual amount of weight to be determined. I'm going to hold myself back in a good way. In a good way. When I was warming up, I could feel my left chest felt a little funky. Not in a way like I think I need to cancel the chest day, of course, but in a way that makes me say, all right, Sam, maybe you shouldn't try to load up 400 pounds directly onto your pecs. Maybe back off. So stick to 3. This is a way which I'll really be able to manage, make this a good set, and just go from here. I might just sit here for 4 more. I might only do the 1 and say I want to move on. Some of that is just kind of only discovered after doing your initial set. I've done leg days where I thought I was going to do a crazy amount of leg extensions, and then my knee felt kind of funky, so instead I did like all sissy squats. You know, it's like, you can have a good idea, but keeping an open mind about your training and being able to make quick on the fly, like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore, let's go to that chest press. Even if that decision isn't the absolute most perfect, optimal move, making it in a quick fashion beats sitting there and like, well, do I want to do dumbbell or do I want to do machine press? Or because then 10 minutes are going to pass, you're going to start talking to one of your buddies, your pump is gone, and you've lost your momentum of the workout, you know? So even if I was about to go do like an incline press over there, if it was taken, I'm not going to sit there and wait. At least not too long. I might ask how many sets the guy has left. I'm probably just going to say, all right, I'm going to do this instead. Let's go. You know, keep your energy. All right, come on. A little chalk never hurts, too. Yeah. 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 Okay. Oh. Let's keep running those up. Oh, nothing wrong with keeping it basic. One more. Let's make a drop set. Ah, that was a good fucking drop set. Let's move on. Come on. Only 2 plates. I'm not talking 3 plates here. Those first 3 sets of incline Smith fucking wrecked me. And also, I only had 1,200 fucking calories today. I'm feeling it. But in no way is that an excuse. No fucking way. The last thing I want you to do if you're dieting down right now is go into the gym, feel a little bit sluggish, and then like fucking pity yourself. No, man, come on. You're tired because you want to be tired, because that's what it takes if you want to get leaner. So I'm fucking all for it. You know, add the difficulties on. Give me a migraine. Make this shit hard. Okay, maybe knock on steel. I don't want that. I'm just being crazy here. But 2 sets or 2 plates with this machine, I'm really gonna squeeze. Like I'm gonna hold it for a second before I come back down, and then chest is already fucking pumped. Plus, since I'm dieted, I just physically can't handle so much workload and recover from it. So the only thing that changes with my workouts, dieting versus bulking, it's not intensity, it's not the style. It just ends up being like I call the workouts a little earlier because I just can't take as much damage because I don't have as much energy in my system, if you catch my drift. But let's hit the shit, squeeze it hard too. One second. Wait, there's a rest pause. Yeah. Oh my god, okay. I think let's finish with flies and that's it. Slightly quicker chest day than normal. No. All right. I can be quick. I just got one. 60. 60, 60, 60. So, when it comes to cable flies, I'm more of kind of a this sort of nature kind of fan. But I did all incline pressing today. So doing decline flies, it's honestly a perfect finisher. Because now, not only do I get a massive kind of stretch, but my upper chest is already wrecked. Especially after that last set of machine press. So now all I'm really focusing on is big stretch, big stretch. This is as if you're like squeezing a sponge underwater. Or maybe this is the squeezing of the sponge underwater. And then when you let that tension go, I feel like my chest just fucking fills up with blood. So I'm not so concerned with the weight. The whole point of this is really just like fucking squeeze, stretch, squeeze, and stretch. So let's hit this shit and finish up. A little here. I know I said not that heavy, but you need to fight a little bit of resistance. There we go. Yeah. 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 Okay. Close down. There we go. After a pretty fucking short workout. I mean, only 5 sets. 3 sets of really solid incline Smith machine, 2 in a very controlled nature, and then 1 a little bit more brutish. Still a fucking sweet set in my opinion. Then another set of really controlled squeezing hammer strength machine press, followed by some fucking decline fly burnouts. My chest is fully pumped, and I'm definitely stimulated enough to maintain my chest size while I'm dieting. I don't think that I try to train easy when I'm dieting down. I still try to push it as hard as I can, but I just don't have the fucking carbs and energy in me to do like a 12-set workout. By the time I did that 5, honestly, by the time I finished those 3 sets of incline Smith machines, I probably could have left the gym and have gotten some fucking stimulation, definitely enough to maintain my chest size. So don't overdo it. And what I mean by that is don't do so much fluff volume thinking that more fluff is better, right? If your sets are shit, a big ass pile of shit is no better than a small pile of shit, Not to be kind of rude about it, but if you make your sets really solid to the point where if you get a fucking emergency phone call right after you finish your workout set, you should be like, okay, I went hard on that. I pretty much went as hard as I could. Let's get out of here. I gotta go do this. If you know you're leaving energy in the tank, and I hate to see it, I hear guys say like, well, I don't have energy for the rest of the workout, man. We've got another like 4 movements to do. You lost me. You fucking lost me there. So let's pose down, go home, eat, and get a goddamn good night's fucking rest. And we look fucking crazy as shit. Oh my god. Oh Jesus, I love it. Let's get some extra fucking clear image zoom up in this bitch. Relaxed, in my opinion. Oh my god. Holy crap. Oh yeah, let's get a little vacuum action. Oh, it's fucking hard to breathe after a good chest day and then a solid vacuum. But we're getting dry. Definitely getting on the fucking drier end of things now. I mean, that is a lot of fucking separation and definition, way more than I'm used to on my bulks. So let's just run through a couple more of these because I'm not used to being this lean, and I just love looking at it. And then we get out of here. Even just right here, this is sick. Oh. Oh, all right. So, over the next few days, I will only continue to get slightly freakier and freakier as this thin layer of fat slowly gets even thinner. I don't have any calipers. I should probably get some because right now, like, for me to flex here and just squeeze onto the fluff, this is a much smaller pinch than it was even 1 month ago. And that's the whole point, right? I'm trying to peel off the body fat on the outside of me and maintain the lean fucking muscle underneath. So let's run through a couple more solid ones, and then we get out of here. All right, this way. Oh man. All right, one more. I'm sorry. I'm having too much fun. I can't just leave now. Okay. I'm posed out. I'm fucking tired. I'm carb depleted. And I'm fucking loving it. Let's get in the car. All right, so after a rather long post chest day chat session, it's one of the boys. It's time to roll. It is time to fucking go home. And I've come to a conclusion. I know when this diet is going to be over. I know it. I have it planned. I'm not going to tell you exactly when. It spoils the surprise. But it's let's just say sooner than later. So that'll be cool. So pretty much about as lean as I need to be. And honestly, I think I'm just kind of, well, I don't want to get so I've kind of got a bit of a, actually kind of, I definitely have a little bit of a fucking I don't know what you necessarily call it, a pathological need for more size. I'm sure that's not a bad way to describe it. So I feel like if I keep trying to diet down even leaner and leaner, I'm not doing a show right now. What's the point? What's the point? The whole point of the dieting phase is reset the appetite, get back to a baseline level of leanness, and then get ready to get huge yet again. But no, I definitely do kind of have there's a little bit more of a plan now, especially now compared to any other time, because I'm getting kind of fucking big. And I don't mean big in like a walking around like holy crap that guy's, I mean like more of a bodybuilding competitive side of things, because that's kind of always been my approach with it. Not even kind of, that is my approach with it. In the bodybuilding space, you have infinite time, in a sense. And what I mean by that is there's no rule that you only get to bulk up for 2 years before you have to do your first competition. Just be a freak first, and then have a much higher chance of doing well. Plus, I think anybody, and this is very opinionated. I'm not saying this is actual factual advice, but apart from the fact that it is just a cool ass thing to do, and it is fucking fun. If your long term goal is you want to keep making continued gains, then I wouldn't really mind holding back on your first bodybuilding show and spending more of your time just trying to grow, as efficiently as possible. Because for me, the main reason that I haven't done amateur bodybuilding shows every dieting phase up until now is, for one thing, it's gonna take an extra 2 months of time, or at least an extra month with hard dieting to get that lean, and there's gonna kind of be sort of a reset period, because from getting that lean, it takes a little while to get back into the regular groove of things. It's very stressful. So in my mind, I'm like, dude, fucking bulk up, put some mass on, diet down, peel off some of the fat, repeat the loop until end goal size is desired, no matter how many years that takes. So when I talk about competing, uh, my actual sort of doing a little bit of a deep dive, consciousness style. What are my real motivations? The competition side is actually kind of, I don't want to say secondary, of course. The whole reason I'm into bodybuilding is because the space of bodybuilding already exists. You know, Bodybuilders, competitive bodybuilders, are a lot of my inspiration because I've seen them do the things that I want to do, and I see them push hard and eat all the same foods that I'm going to end up eating, and actually go through the process of bulking and cardio and dieting. They do all the shit I do, right? It's fun. That's what I like. Holy crap! What the fuck is going on here? Not a bunch of fire trucks were rolling up. I thought they were gonna, oh, whatever. But those guys I like is they do the shit I like to do: get big, work out hard, eat, do their cardio, right? Do their cardio, just to emphasize it, you know. But at least right now, what's really doing it for me is just I love the process of it. I have a thing which I get to work at every day, have a pretty serious amount of energy and effort into it, but also get back a really fucking solid amount of enjoyment too. Me just coming to the gym, doing this chest day, sitting there in the gym talking afterwards, posing down, coming to now getting to talk about it for like an hour, hour and a half a day, every fucking day. That's perfect for me. This is awesome. And honestly, the practicing is the part that everybody remembers the most. I've talked to my old coaches, guys who were serious, like high level competitive college athletes. And these guys don't remember when they were competing. They don't really remember the actual competitions that they did, where they placed well or they won first place or whatever. They remember the training, right? So at least for me, that's kind of what really, the reason why I keep doing it is because I like doing it. And I want to be bigger, of course. So I'm sure the first bodybuilding show, actually stepping on stage, having a whole crowd, fucking hitting every flex imaginable, got to pick a cool posing song. I'm sure that is going to be pretty fucking fun. But I've got no experience in that realm yet, so we'll just have to see. But no, if I had to guess, and this is not a confirmation, but after this next bulking phase, I'm gonna have to do a show. I'm gonna be too big not to, because there's a little bit of a time period where you actually should say, okay, I need to do a competition right now. Because if eventually, like, becoming a straight up IFBB pro, that'd be cool. Sam Sulik, IFBB pro, it's fucking badass. It's semi-distant future. But if that's actually like what you want to end up doing, there are weight limits. There are weight caps. So from my perspective, I don't want to do a bodybuilding show if I'm not going to be totally maxed out at my weight cap. That's like doing a fucking fight where, if you know anything about fighting, if you're watching this video, you probably do. These guys are like 200 pounds and then they water cut down to 180 so that they're fighting at 180, but they're really a 200 pounder. They're just a little bit extra light. If somebody cut down from 200 to get to 180, versus fighting somebody who's like 170, a little bit smaller than he could be for that weight class. You know, what's the point, right? You're just losing out. So that's where I think, you know, build up the physique first before you have to, or before you get to really show it off. Now, that's not, it's, you know, some guys like to compete every year just for the fun of it. They love the process. They love the competitive aspect of the dieting. That's fucking cool. You know, I'm just saying, for me, I just, well, I want to look extra cool. That's all I'm saying there. So that'll, yeah, I'm getting excited now. I'm really getting excited for this first 2 weeks, 3 weeks ish. Honestly, probably even the first month. The first month of the bulk, because I'm not gonna gain any substantial body fat. Month one of eating back in a mild surplus, which is gradually gonna increase over time, all I'm really doing is filling myself back up and ramping my appetite into gear, ramping my metabolism into gear. So the only major changes that are going to happen from me right now dieted to me in like 3 weeks with, you know, a few hundred extra grams of carbs in my system every day is I'm just going to fucking fill up in a good way. When in a more kind of worldwide kind of approach, or whatever, creatine is doing the same shit. You know, it's increasing your intramuscular water retention. Now, guys hear water retention and think, oh, I don't want to hold water. Dude, I want that dry look. I want that dry look, man. Come on, I don't want to hold any water. No, look, you're missing the key fucking term there. Intramuscular water. Intramuscular water is the water inside of your fucking muscle fibers, which is going to make you look extra fucking big and full. Plus, you're getting a boost to your ATP production. So, unless you're eating a few pounds of red meat per day, I think you're gonna fucking benefit from your 5 grams of creatine. And don't sweat the loading phase. That's just whatever. You know, take your 5 grams. Take your 6 grams if you're feeling crazy. You can use this clip if you'd like to. I'll hear this a lot sometimes. Uh, Guys will tell me their mom doesn't want them to take creatine. Dude, look, I'm not your mom. I take creatine. I think creatine is good. I do not think there's any negative fucking effects of creatine. I think you're fine. But it's, you know, if you got to ask your mom for creatine, I guess you're also going to have to listen to her if she says no. So, plan now. Enjoy the deficit for just a touch longer. Just a wee bit longer. And then. And then. Oh, shit. I guess the next few days, when I go to the gym in the morning for cardio, I should probably do I'll do kind of an end dieting check-in just to get a good little starting point and see how I kind of change looks and size over the course of the next few months. So I'll make sure to add that in for sure. But I haven't even talked about the chest day. Yeah, yeah, solid, very solid, good. I mean, what else is there to say? You know, whether I do a workout that's 5 sets or if it's fucking 10 sets, same goes for you. As long as you make those sets good, like I was saying on the way to the gym today, you know, don't sweat it, man. Gradually over time, if you want to get big and you want to have good workouts, you're gonna make those minor adjustments without even thinking about it. I know I want to get a good chest pump. I know I want to seriously feel a solid squeeze and get a lot of fatigue in my chest throughout the course of the chest day. So, if those are my primary, you know, goals, my fucking top priorities of the workout, then whatever I do is going to be tailored towards that end goal. So if I think that incline dumbbell is going to feel good first, or maybe I want to do a lot of machine press or a ton of cable flies first, burnout style, and then do heavy pressing once I'm pre-exhausted. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it. There's an infinite amount of fucking chest days out there, or at least a high enough number where infinite is a solid equivalent. So, you know, don't think about that as like trying to find the needle in the haystack of like, okay, you can do a million chest workouts. What's the perfect one? No, that's the wrong approach. You know, the perfect workout is the one that's executed with extreme intensity by the fucking enlightened lifter who understands that. So, you know, what helps with anybody, or that having that mentality is definitely going to help with you. If you're a little bit limited on resources, if your gym is kind of on the scrappier side, if you have to lift at like your high school's, sort of barn gym, like the coach and he lets you come in there or whatever, or if you've only got some weights in your basement. I mean, when I started, all I had was we had a set of dumbbells in the basement in like the office room, which was like completely cluttered. I was just doing fucking dumbbell curls next to my desk. I brought the 30s up to my bedroom and I just curled the 30s. And I mean, fuck, man. Now look at me. I was just answering the comments a little bit ago. A guy's like, dude, I can't go to the gym. He didn't say exactly why, is whatever. I can't go to the gym, but I've got dumbbells in my house. Can I still work out? Can I start working out from home? I've got a pair of 30-pound dumbbells. Can I start working out? You're goddamn right you can. You are goddamn right you can work out with just some dumbbells at home. And if you're the guy who, I mean, I kind of hate that this is the situation we're in, but there are a lot of people who kind of have a little bit of a fear, a bit of anxiety about going to the gym, just because it's kind of a meathead sort of. It's a new place, you're not used to it. I mean, I definitely get that for sure. And everybody who's in there has been there for a long time, so there's kind of like a little bit of an outsider effect. It's like, oh, are people gonna look at me funny because I'm new? I would not stress that, but that's easy for me to say. Of course, I'm used to fucking. I mean, honestly, I probably feel just as comfortable in any gym anywhere as I do fucking at home in my own kitchen. So it's easy for me to say. But no, you're definitely right. It's a bit of a learning curve and an adaptation to getting used to it. So starting small at the house, that is perfectly fucking fine. And if anything, that's a badass step, because 90% of people who are like on the fence, like maybe I should get a gym membership, maybe I shouldn't, they're not even going to start doing home workouts. You are already ahead of the curve. So if you've only got access to dumbbells like that, dude, you can pretty much hit everything. Hamstrings and quads is going to be a little tricky, but upper body wise, yeah, upper body wise, you can just sit there and bust out 10 sets of dumbbell curls. That would be a perfectly fucking stimulating bicep day if you did 10 hard sets of dumbbell curls. If you get stronger, you might need to get new dumbbells, but I mean, that might be $50 at Meijer. You can buy dumbbells pretty readily at any kind of just superstore, up to, I'll even see 60s. Maybe make a trip to Dick's. I've seen they've got like 70s in there if you're getting extra strong. I think if you're a guy who's going to curl the 70s, though, you should probably just go to the gym and not do it at home. But yeah, you can buy some new shit as time goes on. You get more used to it. But even with just dumbbells, you can pretty much fucking hit everything. You can just lay down, do some dumbbell chest press, or honestly, that might not even be any better than just regular ass push-ups. Bend over, do some dumbbell rows, really squeeze it. Lay down, do some tricep skull crushers with the dumbbells, or some lateral raises, just standing shoulder press, bent over laterals. If you really want it, then you're going to be able to make it happen with even fucking rough conditions. I feel like MacGyver. If you put me in a room, lock the door, and then the guy from Saw shows up on the TV and he says, Sam, you have 30 minutes to get a quad pump right now, only using what's in the room available to you. Go. Dude, I'd be able to figure that shit out. Maybe, I don't know, do some 60 squats or something. Or something like arms, there's a little easier. Just pick up something heavy, curl that shit, right? But if you know that's you, if you know you've got an interest, if you know you've got some time on your hands, and you're like, I want to put some energy into working out, for whatever reason, be it just overall confidence, getting into better shape. Maybe you used to work out when you were younger, now you've kind of fallen out of it. But I mean, fuck, man, if you're in kind of my older demographic, your kids might be getting into the gym right now. I see that a lot, where it's a guy and his kid coming up to me, we're talking, and it's like the guy's getting back into the gym because the kid's watching some of the Sam lifts. I'm like, that is fucking baller, So, but no matter what your starting position is, I think that getting some quality gym time into your routine will always be a fucking positive. And of course, I'm going to say that because I love the gym. The more people who go to the gym and the more people who pay gym memberships means there's kind of more money in the gym industry. Gyms are going to be nicer. I've made this reference before. You know, there's like 3 times as many gyms in the States now than there was like 20 years ago, you know? And I can almost guarantee that of those like 30,000 new gyms, they're a lot nicer and they've got newer equipment and just cooler shit. So, as far as I'm concerned, the more people in the gym, the better, right? And I'm talking your grandma, your mom, your cousin, your best friend, you know, anybody you can get your or anybody you can get your hands on to get a hold of a gym membership. They will not regret it. That's my take on the matter there. But one more, just a little bit longer dieting wise. Not one more day, but a little bit longer, and then the name of this next bulking phase will be made. I still have to pick one. What should I call it? The super humongous extra giga bulk? Maybe, but I guess we'll find out then. So I'm going to see you tomorrow for a back day. Yeah, I'm excited. That'll be solid.